Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are good, guys. Today we're going to be reacting to Charlie Kirk clashes with students pushing free love. Guys, let's get right down to this video.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about like premarital sex and things like
Yes.
that, which I feel like is a great concept.
Yep.
But the question is, do you think men and women both having high body counts is the same thing?
No. They're both bad, but men deal with different sexual temptation than women. It's much easier for a woman to say no to sex than a man. Much easier.
I
which one do you
kind of
think is
agree.
worse?
It depends what I mean by what worse for them. It's actually worse for the female, psychologically.
Right.
Worse, like worse from an outside judgment standpoint. I mean, it's probably a tie. I mean, but they're worse for different reasons.
So
The man has a much harder time restraining sexual impulse than a female.
right,
But it's also a fact that when a woman has a high body count, they become less desirable in the eyes of a man. I don't know if that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just reality.
right. So on the contrary to that, if a man is a virgin, especially in the generation we live in,
Yes.
why are we not like if you're a virgin, are you going to be respected as a man?
I was.
I'm right, but
I was a virgin until I got married.
think about the majority.
I had a pretty good life and good career. Like,
career, yes,
but also, why are you sharing your sexual behavior with people? Like, that's weird. Like, why is it their business that you're a virgin or not? Like,
I mean,
that's like, who cares?
I agree
Who
with you.
cares
I agree.
But like,
actually?
if you, is the argument that you have sex because you might be like called a virgin? Like, yeah, I don't have STDs. Go to hell. Like, okay.
No, I completely agree with you. But like the fact
I
is,
hear the social pressure argument.
Like the
Yeah.
social pressure is, it's like if a man is a virgin especially in this dating market, right? Like,
Yeah. I think that's unbelievably attractive to women.
I disagree. I
My
don't
wife's
think so.
pretty beautiful,
Right.
right? Like, she's pretty desirable.
Right.
Would you guys agree? Yeah, Erica's pretty beautiful. I'll just tell you that if a man or a woman remains a virgin, you become insanely attractive in a time when everyone else has been shared. It's not easy. I understand that we live in a hypersexualized culture. I'm not even shaming people. I know it's difficult. But if you commit yourself to it, you should be platformed as a desirable, way to live. And again, I'm not here to humiliate. Everyone struggles and everyone has, maybe today though, if you could rededicate yourself to that way of life, it's a beautiful thing.
But okay, so then again, does the innocence of being a virgin as a man
Yeah.
like lower his masculinity?
No, it
Because-
actually increases his masculinity.
Testosterone returns.
Actually, yeah, if you remain a virgin, that means that you have so much self-control over your animal instincts that you're like the most badass man. It's easy not to be a virgin. It's hard to be a virgin. Masculinity is doing the hard stuff, not the easy stuff. Like, I have zero respect for a 17-year-old. It's like, bro, I have all this sex with people. Like, yeah, you're nothing more than a rabbit.
Yeah. No,
Like, good for you.
Again,
Like, control yourself.
but doesn't it also come down to if innocence raises femininity and makes a woman more attractive, wouldn't it do the opposite for a man?
No, I'm saying it actually makes the man more attractive. I think virginity makes both sexes more attractive. I'm not arguing for, there's some people that are like, men should have as much sex as they want and women shouldn't. I think both should save themselves for marriage. But it's a fact that, and it's not a good fact, that if women do have a high body count, men do not find that to be attractive.
Right. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
I completely agree with
Yeah,
you.
and so I'm just being,
I just don't agree
I don't
with the
like
opposite.
the fact.
Yeah,
but
I just don't agree with the opposite.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, but I hear all the time from young women, why can't I find a man? Well, because you've been sleeping around for the last
100%,
decade.
yeah, 100%.
I hear from men, why are there no good women? Well, because the women are, pseudo prostitutes, most of them, in the area.
Yeah. No, again,
And you
that's
say,
fair.
Charlie, that's not fair. What is OnlyFans? It's online prostitution. How many of you guys know girls that have OnlyFans accounts? All of you. So you all know hookers. That's what it is.
How to pay for ASU.
Welcome to ASU. But,
What?
Spot on. I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
We all got friends who probably like sleep around. More
Yeah,
than
and
they
I'm not
really
trying to
should.
shame anyone that does that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to challenge you to be better. I want to be very clear.
Do you think that's a lost cause? For,
No,
friendship? Like,
anyone can change at any time. I would look, if someone who's sleeping around all the time, deep down they probably are mentally tormented. If they're a man, I guarantee they're going to be accused of rape at any time by some girl that wakes up and has a different version of events. And in today's life, that could destroy your life, right? You could have an STD,
Yeah.
and or like you have just cheapened the sacred, the holy, right? You have something holy. Why share it with like every random person at ASU, right?
Thing is,
Save it for your soul partner. Save it for the person you want to send for the rest of your life. Not easy, but the fulfilling life is for those people that do hard stuff, not easy stuff.
Well, both are hard. You have to choose your difficult.
Yes, it's a difficult path to say no to hookup culture.
Yeah.
It's a difficult path. I get it,
But it's also
but
hard
it's
to miss.
it's also insanely fulfilling.
How do you get friends to see like sex as more sacred? I feel like
It's hard. I mean,
hard to
it's just they look at it through a highly pornified, sexualized lens.
Yeah, even so with the hookup culture thing, like I think that's a great point. I mean, it's very unrealistic, especially in the generation we were in today.
It
but-
might be unrealistic. Yeah.
Right. So, but even if, right, you don't just date a girl to marry her, right? You
Well,
gotta.
you should.
You should.
Right. Okay. Okay.
That's the reason to date.
That's where I'm
Right,
like,
okay.
we got everything messed up.
Right,
And I
but-
know it's hard, but
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to commit to anything like too seriously before you completely know the girl first, correct?
well, yeah, but you shouldn't even date without the intention to marry. Dating is not recreational. It's not for sex. It should be with the intent to find a soulmate.
What else would you date for?
That's like
So-
studying for an exam.
Yeah, you're just spending
Right.
money on her just to...
Talk to them before you
get some
take them
food?
on a date. Get
Yeah,
to
I mean,
know
but
them.
it's like again,
Why
if
would
you
study for an exam that doesn't
Right.
exist?
But for me personally, if I'm gonna, if I'm no, listen. If I'm dating a girl, right, I would want to be in a relationship with her for at least 3 years before marrying her, because you would need to understand compatibility
you just
between
prove
two
that
people.
you do have the intent to marry because
Oh,
you're
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, but
Right.
I mean, then therefore
Yeah.
you shouldn't even go on the first date without in your head, I'm looking for flags or things that.
Right.
And then, for
Vetting.
example, if you say to myself, I will never marry someone of another religion, perfectly respectable thing for any
Yeah.
religion, right? And you happen to be dating somebody of a different religion just for the sex and the companionship, that's, I think, immoral. You're leading her on, you're leading yourself on. The whole thing is screwed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So-
like a placeholder. The whole thing's
Yeah.
screwed
So
up.
dating to intent to marry, I think, is a good virtue, but also at the same time, if you don't want to commit to marriage too quickly in a relationship, isn't intimacy a big part of a relationship? So why would you save yourself for marriage,
You should save yourself for marriage. That's a great question.
even in a committed relationship?
100%, yes, yes, without a doubt. Because the sacred should only be shared with the person when the vows are shared. In the ideal, I know that's unrealistic, okay? But it's hard for a generation that's so sexualized to get this. But to describe how awesome it is to not have to worry that your partner had to share that with somebody else and you didn't have to share it, that's not on. It can happen because your grandfather's generation and great grandfather's generation lived that and they lived happier and better lives. It can be done, right? Where you're both not wondering, am I living up to a previous partner? Am I thinking about a different partner? And by the way, with women in particular, the studies show there's a chemical, there's an attachment that young ladies have as soon as they have sex with somebody, and it's very hard for young women to overcome that, right?
Right.
And that's where you sometimes get like ex-girlfriend syndrome. It's honestly understandable. Like biologically, they're not wired to have 15 partners, right?
Yeah.
Men, on the other hand, have a much easier time moving on from one partner to the other, but they should restrain their animal impulse.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to the time period at the end.
No, but we should speak out against. But we should say, okay, just because it's hard doesn't mean we shouldn't set the standard. It's possible, right? Yeah, there's pressure. Yeah, there's external stuff, and there's evidence to show that we can move public opinion. I'll prove it to you, okay? So, how many of you guys know people that smoke tobacco regularly? How many of your friends? Would you say a majority or a minority? A majority smoke tobacco. Like cigarettes?
Yeah.
Minority.
Minority?
Yeah.
That's surprising. Okay, well my point would have been, I'm not even talking about vaping or marijuana, that's a separate issue. But if you would have went to a college campus in the 70s, I would have saw a lot of kids with cigarettes. I don't see that very often. Maybe you guys are gonna tell me wrong. We moved public opinion on cigarettes. Now, unfortunately, we now replaced it with other things. But you can get people to change behaviors, is what I'm saying. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. And we should try to challenge young men to not have sex with everything that moves.
Yeah, again, that goes down to hookup culture, but I think at the end of the day, it's like if I'm in a committed relationship with a girl,
That's a better moral standard. You're right.
right, better moral standard.
I agree, but it's not the ideal.
You're
because
saying
I'll-
the ideal is marriage.
Of course it is, yes. And I think we all need to acknowledge that there is an ideal. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult, right? And again, I will go back to the approach. You took that sex and ethics course you mentioned previously, which is you need to eat to survive. You need to drink to survive. You do not need to have sex to survive. You don't. You're tempted towards it, you're drawn towards it, but you will not die. Right?
Right.
And so I actually think it creates stronger men and women with a better ability to find their place in the world, less depression, more purpose. And by the way, all the studies show this, that couples that save themselves for marriage, they have like far less rates of alcoholism, far less rates of domestic abuse. And it could be a sampling error because you're like, oh, it's not fair because those are the people that actually have more disciplined lives. Or maybe did they develop discipline by saying no to the thing that they were most tempted to do?
Okay, guys, so basically I'm going to put this out there. So far, this is one of the best of Charlie's debate that I really, really enjoyed. I mean, like, okay, let's just get right down to the, my talking part. So guys, it's a really, really, really nice thing. I mean, it's really sweet and nice to keep yourself for marriage. Yeah, because you get to have that special bond, or I don't know how to put it, but you get to share that sacred intimacy with just your soulmates, and I think it's a really, really beautiful thing. Though say I'm not one to judge, so I'm going to say in this our present day, I really feel like a lot of people just want to have sex, and it's so disappointing. I mean, like, there's nothing there. I mean, I literally watched before coming to react, I literally watched a YouTube video of someone I follow, a content creator on TikTok. He posted a YouTube video on his YouTube page, and I decided to go watch it. I don't know if you guys know of boys. It's more like a date thing, yeah, a date thingy, and he was going out on a date. It's not really out, just asking them questions, with 10 girls from the same tribe in Nigeria. Now, I watched everything, and when he got to the last person, she was, he was just basically asking her questions like, so what's your type of guy? And you would not want to know her reply. She was like, someone who could fuck well, someone who smokes, like takes shisha, weed and all, and someone who drinks. And I'm like, what? Hey. I was so shocked. And, at the end of the day, the guy was like, this thing they say smash or pass, and he was like, I'm going to pass. And the girl slapped him. It was so funny because he told her to get out of his studio. But guys, that's not the point. What I'm trying to say here is that this present day, like our society today is really, really like the sexuality. It's high. I don't even know how to put it, but like it's the sexual rate, like between like the two genders is really, really high. Everybody just wants to have sex. I mean, I literally was going through my friend's Snap story, and this thing that they put under, you say, okay, ask questions, and someone asked, I'm 16 and I really want to have sex. And I'm like, why? Hey, you're really young. Like, it doesn't even make sense. These are things that I'm seeing, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, everybody just wants to fuck, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not even healthy for the brain. I mean, like, at such a young age. It's really true when I've heard a lot of stories, so yeah, I know it's really true when someone, like, especially girls, when girls have sex at a really young age, See, they tend to get so attached. So when Charlie made that statement, I could relate so quick because okay guys, my birthday was on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And see, I was with my cousin, yeah, and we were talking at night, and she was telling me a lot of things about her friend. Her friend. She asked me the question: if someone like have sex with someone, do they become so attached? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I think. I mean, I've done a lot of research, and it's kind of true. I think so. And then she's like, she's just worried for her friend because her friend has become so like, she's so. She's attached to the person, and she literally just wants to have sex every time, and it doesn't even make sense. Like, don't you guys fear for diseases? Like, there's something called HIV, AIDS, STDs. Like, see, right now, like I just there's some of my friends. You see, when it comes to guys, I believe that some guys can't really control themselves. Like, for real. Like, you literally see, I have friends on campus that once they see this girl, oh, I like this girl. See, you're not going to her to, talk to her that, oh, you want to take her out on a date or anything. You literally just want to punch her. Like, you just want to fuck her. That's all. Like, it's sometimes I look at them and it pisses me off and I just walk away. Like, why are you even my friend? Like, oh, God. It's a whole lot to think about, trust me. I mean, like, same thing when I see like guys smoking. I mean, I have a really, really close friend that smokes like literally every day. And see, I'm scared for his life because I don't want you maybe having like, lungs, like anything wrong with your lungs, your liver, anything of a sort later. I mean, your mom is stressing, your dad is stressing, sending you to school, literally paying your fees, and this is what you're doing with your life. And at the end of the day, you get sick, they're going to have to stress again to take you to the hospital to make sure you're well. Don't you see, one thing about me, yeah, I know I'm talking too much already, but I'm getting emotional. If I don't care about myself, trust me, I do care about my parent, my mom, my dad. I would definitely live a better life, if not for my sake, for their sake. Because I know it's not easy. You see, being a parent is something. You see, when your children don't do well, when they end up like putting a bad name tag on the family, it all comes down to you as the parent. And it's so shameful. Like, you're not the one going through the shame. They're the one going through the shame. Yes, your child is now dying in the hospital because he smokes every day. Your child is pregnant because she sleeps around. Like, these days, I see everybody. Someone literally asked again on my friend's Snap story that how does she open an OnlyFans page? Like, come on. Like, there's so many fucking ways to make money. But no, you just want to... See. Let me tell you something. This life is not a bed of roses. Things are hard. You don't really have to learn everything the hard way, but you have to try. Things are hard and we get it. The whole country is hard. We get it. But just because you want money doesn't mean you have to do something that, it's more like you don't even know your worth anymore. Look, when I finished school, I'm this person that, way back when I was in secondary school, like high school, I just was, I like people like saying, oh, you don't like people helping you. It was more like I was trying to be independent. I knew it was hard, but I decided to do it for myself. Because if I am someone that, I can get too comfortable getting something from someone and it's very bad. And I'm so happy and grateful to God. I realized that so quickly. I realized that I need to do things for myself. So that even when a guy walks up to me and say, I can afford this myself. It doesn't mean you shouldn't give it to me. It doesn't mean I'm not going to accept it. But you would never use that thing to insult me or to make me feel like I am, way less. Like, I hope you get it. So, like, I realized I really needed to start something. And I begged my parents and I went to learn how to bake. And I bake for a living. Like, so, when I see girls, wanting to go the easy way, you just want to sleep with a guy for him to give you money. Like, girl, don't you know your worth? You see, I have so many, coming to campus, has me, like, all out, seen a lot of things. And, I have friends who just want to sleep with guys for money. I have seen so many people, but I can tell you, face fact, that There are so many girls out there that get money from guys without sleeping with them. Like, no joke, no charm, nothing, but like, if it's real. You don't have to spread your legs wide open for a guy for you to get money. So please, let's all just do ourselves a favor. The girls, the boys, everybody do yourself a favor and keep yourself. If not for anything, if not for your parents, for just the sake of, having to pay a lot of hospital bills just to clear an infection, that could be worth it. But guys, tell me what you think about this. What's your opinion on this? See, I love the argument, coming into my comment section. If I tell you I don't like it, I'm lying. I like when everybody with different, views just comes down to the comment section and tell, oh, I don't agree with this. I feel this is how it's supposed to be. Oh, I agree with you. Like, I really like it. So please, let's bring our comment section down to the comments. Tell us what you think about this. What is your idea on this, guys? And we're going to, talk about it and get down to the root. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel. Love you guys.